The Wally Show podcast is our daily radio show heard live through the WayFM app each morning and hosted by Wally, Gavin, and me, Betty Rock. For more fun, be sure to connect with us at wayfm.com/Wally.
The Wally Show podcast is brought to you by Colorado Christian University Online, where Wally teaches and where you can earn a degree online just like Betty Rock. You can learn more at ccu.edu/Wally. This podcast is also brought to you by United Faith Mortgage. Let their direct lender advantage save you time and money.
Uplifting WayFM.
Stories served with a side of Southern sass.
You're breaking my hair!
I mean charm. Here's Betty Rock.
Living within close proximity to another human, aka your neighbor, can have its pros and cons. When it comes to cons, take for instance a guy who recently went viral for posting a video on a new invention he created, the Dog Zapper 2000, after his neighbor's dog would bark 24/7 and he couldn't get his neighbor to do anything about it. So he created a remote control air horn aimed at his neighbor's house that would go off whenever the dog barked.
I love this idea, actually.
Well, this situation could have easily been prevented had the neighbor followed the unspoken rules of neighborhood etiquette.
Yeah, they are unspoken, and it's easy for people to break them, but I don't understand it. It seems like they should never even be in question, but they are.
Yeah, unfortunately. So the first is be mindful of how loud your dog or your car are.
Absolutely.
For instance, that situation, the dog was out of control. Another one is don't block someone's driveway.
Okay.
Move your car.
I have a very interesting thing in my own neighborhood. I live in a cul-de-sac, and so there's a curved driveway right in front of my house where this one girl who is like a nanny for our neighbors parks like every day, but she parks right up next to our mailbox. Our mailman will not get out of his truck, will not even try to deliver. If he sees her car there, he just goes by. So we don't get our mail because of her. And so I saw her yesterday getting in her car to leave, and I come running out of my garage. I'm like, hey, kind of waving at her, and she kind of sheepishly waves back like, hey, creepy guy. And so I go over, I'm like, hey, real quick, if it's not too much trouble, could you just pull like way back when you park here, just to leave enough room for him to scoot in there, because my mailman's the worst. And she was so kind. She's like, oh, I'm so sorry, but we just had a conversation, and it should work out, and if she doesn't, I'll tow her.
Wow, you both were respectful.
Right, exactly.
This is one that really I've seen in my own situation. Pick up after your pets.
Yes.
I'm not paying for a dog. Like, I don't have a dog, so I shouldn't have to have responsibility for it. But if you let your dog use the bathroom in my grass and then you leave it there, I got issues.
I've always, too, kind of wondered about the concept. I'm not a dog owner. Gavin, you are. But, like, hey, let me take my dog for a walk and just let it do its business in everyone's yard. Like, how is that okay?
We try. Like, if we take our dogs for a walk, we stay in the front or the backyard on the leash for a few minutes to let them do their business.
Yeah.
Because, like, people in our neighborhood have signs with little dogs on them that say, like, don't do it here, please.
Yeah, because like it will like mess your grass up and stuff too. And if you work hard on your grass, like you want to keep it nice, and I don't have a dog for that reason.
Exactly. And finally, if you're going to host a party, give your neighbors a heads up.
Yes, and it's small group too. If you have a small group and you got a bunch of cars coming over, that's actually a good way to invite somebody. You go, hey, real quick, my church, we do the small group thing, and I just want to let you know we're going to have a bunch of cars here, and I really apologize. But hey, if you would like to come over, we'd love to have you.
Look at that outreach.
I know. See, that's how you do this. All right, that's going to do it. Thank you, Lady Rock.
The price is wrong, Bob.
Uplifting WayFM. This is The Wally Show. And Betty Rock is the queen of Facebook Marketplace. Nobody gets a cheaper puzzle than she does on there.
I will bargain.
I know.
I will knock it down.
You spend a lot of time there. And so what we want to do is play a game called Marketplace Math, where Betty Rock sees some unusual items, and then Gavin and I, try to guess how much they are going for. Because people have crazy things, and then they ask ludicrous amounts of money for things sometimes.
So the first item we're going to put up is 8-track tapes and cassettes, but there are 165 of them.
And they're not really needed for anything anymore. It's all antiquated technology.
But you got to think about, are there those Generation Zs or those millennials that think, cassettes and 8-tracks, that's so cool.
It's retro.
165 8-track tapes and cassettes. They include Singers like Elvis Presley, Billy Joel, Eagles, Chicago.
Good taste in music.
Kenny Rogers.
Oh, well, man. $1 million probably.
No.
Yeah. All right, so let's get our guesses down. And remember, make sure you're paying attention because we're going to ask you questions from our questions here. And if you get it right, you can win a prize. 150, you say?
165.
165. All right, I have my guess. Gavin?
I think that they don't see them as being $1 per cassette.
My logic was the same.
But I don't think that they undersold them in their own minds either.
Okay.
And so I went at above 100. I went $105.
Okay.
Okay.
I had that same logic, and then I cut it in half. Then instead of 150, I went 75, thinking that no one has 8-track players anymore. Very few people even have those. So 75 or 105, closest to without going over.
Well, the audacity of this seller who wants $215.
No,
they're wrong.
But Gavin, you're right.
Yes.
It's $215 for cassettes? That's crazy.
Yep, and
I had
8-tracks.
to buy a cassette player from a flea market one time to play one cassette. That's how we have my band Heaven's Fire on the show. Is I had to buy, someone wanted to hear it, so I had to buy a cassette player just so we could play
That
it.
checks out. Okay, what about this one? A set of 6 books, but they're Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen books. It includes Holiday in the Sun.
It's a good one.
Or Sweet 16.
That was my favorite.
Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, you remember them from Full House, The Twins, a set of 6 books.
Oh, my goodness. All right, they're not signed or anything?
No.
Somebody just had these books?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
But maybe you got to think about those millennial moms that are like, oh, I have a daughter now, and I remember these books, and I want her to read them.
Okay, I have my guess. 1 nickel. Like, that's all that these are worth. Gavin?
I think that books are so not in right now. $12.
$12. I hope he's high.
Couple dollars.
If he's high, I win this.
Well, $5.
Yes!
Nice. Okay.
Yes. All right, the tiebreaker question.
Okay, this is a Brownie brand 300 8mm movie projector.
Oh, okay.
Okay, an 8mm movie projector. Now keep in mind the box is duct taped. There's dust all over it.
Yeah.
And it comes in its own carrier though.
Okay.
An 8mm movie projector.
All right. I just saw some of these. I was at an antique store the other day, and I saw like 3 of these.
So think back to...
I know what they were asking for them. Okay, I got my guess. Gavin?
It feels like a thing that somebody would want a lot of money for. I'm going to say like $400.
Oh, that's way too high.
Is it?
$45.
$50.
Yes! All right.
Well
so
done.
I won that one. All right. Now, hopefully you were paying attention because you're going to get a question now. If you want to play along with us here, your version of Marketplace Math, 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. You can play with us now.
The price is wrong, Bob.
Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show. Jody, welcome to Marketplace Math. Now, Betty Rock spends a lot of time on Facebook Marketplace getting deals, and so she comes across some weird things, and she tries to stump us with the price of those things. Now, hopefully you were paying a very close attention during our round, because you're going to get a question from our round, okay?
Okay.
Now, Betty Rock had mentioned someone was selling 8-tracks and cassette tapes. How much were they selling those for, Betty Rock? 165 of them?
Mm-hmm. They were selling them for $215.
Okay, now, that seems like a lot for 8-tracks and cassettes, right, Jody?
A lot.
A lot, exactly. Now, she did mention a few of the artists that were being sold in this collection. All you have to do is name one of them.
I can name at least 2, Elvis and Billy Joel.
Nicely done! She also mentioned Chicago and Kenny Rogers, so you are a winner today.
Woo!
Woo!
And you get an 8-track tape. Yay!
We'll give you something slightly more valuable, a WayFM prize pack.
Thank you so much.
Random, huh?
It's like the dumbest thing I've ever done in my entire life.
Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show, and we have a segment new on the show we call Randumb, and this is where we get music from record companies all the time that want us to play their songs, and so I have a new album here from the band Stars Go Dim, and the way we're going to decide what track to play off of this is at random, but we spell it D-U-M-B. So we're going to challenge Gavin
I didn't
here.
know that. That's news to me.
Yeah, so
Random.
we're going to have Gavin try to do something and help us select the track number at random, okay? And the way it works is I'm going to throw marshmallows into his mouth. However many marshmallows he catches, that will coincide with the number on the album.
And they're big marshmallows?
Yeah, they're big marshmallows. They're normal-sized marshmallows.
Okay.
The little ones are too hard. And so we're going to do this now. Betty Rock, if you'll come over here, please, I would appreciate it. And we have 60 seconds to do this in, okay? So this is the timer there when we're ready to go. Let me switch places with you.
All right, are we ready?
I am ready. So Gavin, back up.
Okay.
All right. So remember, however many marshmallows you catch, that is the track number we're going to play.
Oh, let me get in a good catching position.
Okay. Betty Rock,
Ready.
start the countdown.
And go.
Okay, ready, here we go.
Yep,
Marshmallow
yep.
number 1. Oh, okay, we missed that one. Here we go. Number 2. Oh, that was my fault. It stuck to my finger. It stuck to my finger. That's... Oh, that bounced off his teeth. Come on.
Open.
Yes, one. Oh, come on, Gavin. Get your tongue out of the way. We have to at least play one.
I know.
Hurry.
How much time?
He's not going in.
Like 30?
One. Gavin, come on.
Gavin, aim your hand.
One. Okay, spit it in the bowl. That's track 1. How much time, Rock?
You got like 32.
Oh, 2. That's cut
good.
2. I didn't like cut 2. Let's get to cut
Almost,
3.
almost.
Oh, that
Okay.
was my fault. Come on.
Okay,
Here
you're
we
down
go.
to 20.
3. That's cut 3. That's good. Okay, how much time?
20.
Okay, ready? Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It didn't break. I'm so bummed.
Oh, he's down. He's down. His face is red.
I threw an egg to him instead of a marshmallow that time, and it
gosh.
didn't break. Dadgummit.
Wow.
Well, the good news is, Gavin, the good news is that, wow, I'm so sad right now. The good news is you...
I think you chipped his tooth.
Did I really?
No, you didn't.
Okay, good. The good news is for the band Stars Go Dim, they are getting song number 3 played off of this new album,
right.
which is called What Your Love Can Do. It's really hard to read. No, try to read that.
yeah.
It's bad graphics.
Yeah.
What your
Work on
love
that.
can do.
What Your Love Can Do. Here you go. Stars Go Dim, the random song, What Your Love Can Do.
Wanted to run, wanted to hide, wanted to give up. Losing my grip, out of my mind, trying to make sense of all that I heard and all that I felt just didn't add up. No, it wasn't what I was told, acting like I know. What is this feeling? Hey, it's something I can't control, rising up in my soul. More than a feeling, hard to believe it.
Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show, and we have this thing called the prayer wall, where we invite you to post your prayer requests, and other people will pray for you, and they will click a box that will send you a notification that says, hey, you've just been prayed for, which I think that's one of the really coolest features of this, because why do you ask people to pray for you? So it's that you're not just alone in something, and that people are bringing your needs to God, and when they do that, it connects them to God too. So it's a really cool thing, and we'd love to have you be a part of it like these people did. This was anonymous. You can use your name, not use your name, but my husband is out of work and we are out of savings. I'm miserable in my job and I feel trapped there. It's an incredibly negative, toxic atmosphere. I hate who I become in that atmosphere, praying for change and surviving this place. Oof. That's heavy.
It is, and I'm sure she feels... Well, it sounds like definitely she feels powerless in this situation. And maybe, you don't know, maybe she doesn't have a community of believers around her, so she can't ask them to pray for her. But that's what's so great about the prayer wall. It builds that community all around the world so that she can post that. And anyone, it could be from any state, any country, can read it and pray for her right there. And that makes her feel energized, like she can face this difficulty.
I've been in that place where I've been in a really toxic work environment. Not here.
Thank you for specifying.
Yeah, I figured I needed to. No, but in other places, and I didn't want to go to work, and I hated every minute of it. And I wasn't living out my faith then, and so I just wallowed in it and just had to get out of there kind of thing. If I were to do that now and go through it now, I think I would try to look for, all right, I'm here in this negative place for a reason. Maybe I can be that light. And so maybe that's one of the ways you pray for this lady is you say, God, give her the strength to be a light for you in a place where she doesn't want to be, because not all of our situations are fun and they don't change overnight. So how do you get through them? So maybe if you wonder about how to pray for somebody, that's a thought for you. But we'd love to have you get involved. It's our prayer wall, and it's so easy.
Text the word pray to 91979, and we'll send you a link on your phone. That's pray to 91979. Coffee shops, poolside, back porch, picnic table at the park, at your kid's soccer practice. Just about anywhere can be your classroom when you decide to go back to school online at Colorado Christian University.
I know I got my degree online, and I actually did a homework at a campsite. I was sitting around a campfire writing a paper. That is where I did some of my work that weekend. So life doesn't have to stop just because you go back to school to better yourself. You can work towards this future and this goal that you want to accomplish, and it doesn't have to totally consume you or derail your normal life with friends, your family, or what have you.
And you can earn accredited degrees from Colorado Christian without ever setting foot on campus.
So there really shouldn't be an excuse to not going back to school. If it's something you really want to do, you can do it. And all you have to do is go to ccu.edu/Wally to learn more. And the other really important thing is that Colorado Christian is committed to cultivating the mind without compromising the heart. So check it out, ccu.edu/Wally.
Uplifting Way FM.
Wonder if Wally will have an opinion on this.
Wally, I respect you, but word to the wise, never trust a short man named Wally.
It's the Wally Show.
So Instagram is accused in 2 new lawsuits of spurring eating disorders and mental health problems like anxiety, depression, addiction, and even suicide attempts in teenage girls. So there are 2 families that have walked through this, and they're obviously upset at what happened when their daughters used the app. And so the one mom alleges that her daughter was 12 when she became addicted to Instagram and eventually attempted suicide. She contends that Meta, the parent company, knows that the product is contributing to teen depression, anxiety, and even suicide and self-harm. Why doesn't it change these harmful products and features and stop utilizing algorithms in connection with these, with at least teen accounts? And then obviously, a spokesperson for Meta says, we do have things in place, and we do have support online for people struggling with body image issues, age verification, parental controls, and as well as in-app resources for mental health support. So like there's only so much they can do. I get that.
Right, exactly, because you don't want Instagram or any social media platform raising your own child. That's where parental responsibility just comes into play. And the thing is too, this woman said, and it's easy for me to say these things because I'm not a parent, so I will say that. Sure. I don't know what it's like to raise a teenage girl, and I can only imagine how crazy it can be at times. But to be 12 years old and have access to a smartphone, because Instagram is not something you use on a laptop. Right. You have to have a smartphone with it. But for a 12-year-old to have access to a smartphone and then be already like on Instagram 24/7, that's where a mom or a dad should step in and say, this is not healthy.
That's the thing. And social media companies, they definitely are trying to keep people addicted. They want people using their product. That's what all companies do. All companies want you addicted to their product. I don't blame them in this, for that. Now, where it gets dicey is they control an algorithm that determines what you or your teen in this case gets shown and how much of it. And so that is where it gets really gray and gets really murky. But you want to prevent that because, again, these were 12-year-old girls. That's the problem. You don't give access to kids 12 years old to social media because it is a mess. It is a thing that does destroy. It is a thing that hurts a lot of kids. And it's not easy. My daughter, I raised a teenage daughter. She didn't have Instagram and Facebook at 12 years old because we told her it's a really tough word. No. We told her no.
Right.
You know, and we didn't buy her a phone until then.
But the thing is, too, not only are 12-year-olds or any age of teen susceptible to this, it's also grown-ups as well, adults. We're just as susceptible to falling for things that we see on Facebook or Instagram, especially if they've learned that algorithm of what we want to see, and it can feed and fester.
And they're going to serve it to you. And so that's why you have to be vigilant with yourself, and you have to be vigilant with your kids. It's nobody's job to raise your kids but you. They're the gift that God gave you and entrusted you with, and so you have to be super proactive and do the hard things. Well, all my friends have Instagram. Don't care. You know, and that's the hard thing that will pay off for them years down the road.
Behold God stuff.
Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show, and Peter is such a great character in the Bible because he was all passion, and that's what I love him, because he was also all human and made like big mistakes. Like after Jesus was crucified, the disciples, they had scattered, and Peter was distraught because a few days earlier, he was so passionate about his commitment to Jesus only to deny him 3 times. So Peter figures it's all over, you know, so he goes back to being a fisherman, and they had fished all night, caught nothing. Then there's a man on the shore that says, hey, throw your nets on the other side. And they're like, all right, tried everything else. Let's try this. So they throw their nets on the other side. They catch all this fish, you know, and so then Peter realizes that's Jesus. And he's so happy because he's like, I got a second chance. So he doesn't even wait to row it. And this is the passion part. He jumps out of the boat and swims to shore.
You know what? I found out he's very dramatic is what he is. That's why you like him.
That's why I like him a lot. And what's so significant about this, though, this is what's really cool. I love when, like, pastors will give you context and stuff. The only other time Jesus did a miracle like this was when he called Peter the first time. So why do you think he's doing this? He does it once when he calls him. He does it again after Peter has failed. He's restoring him, and he's taking him back to his call.
Because don't you know, Peter was probably just feeling all the guilt.
Yes, yeah. And there was another subtle thing in this story that I'd never known. So Peter gets ashore, and the Bible specifically mentions they have a charcoal fire and a conversation. The only other time in the Bible that was mentioned with Jesus and a charcoal fire was when Peter denied him. You know, and you're like, it's just all this symbolism and all these callbacks from Jesus to, you know, restore Peter. And what's really amazing about this is that he's not doing it to, you know, kind of rub it into Peter, you know, because if he was doing that, he would have said, hey, Peter, remember that time you denied me? And then he would bring it up, you know, like that's what he would be bringing up. But he didn't do that. He was looking to the future, you know, and he says, you know, Jesus asked Peter, he says, do you love me? And he did it 3 times, you know, to, again, remind him of what had happened. But he was looking at the future of, you know, and then then feed my sheep. You're not done. I'm not done with you. You're still a vital part of the church, and I need you.
And I think that's a message that a lot of us need to hear, because we're trying to live up to this perfect standard that we think Christians need to be, but we're all messed up, and we just can't do it on our own.
That's it. We've all sinned. We've all let Jesus down. But he meets us where we are today, and he's ready to restore us regardless of what mistakes we've made in the past. And that's what's so cool. And I love stories when someone goes a little deeper into the story that you know, but do you really know? And like that was like really cool for me. Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show. And Betty Rock came up with something the other day that she found with Jim Gaffigan that I'm like, you know what? I think this is actually really true.
Yeah, so after I heard this stand-up bit that he was doing, because he is a stand-up comedian, and also I think he does a TV show.
He had one. I don't think he has it anymore.
Oh, okay. Well,
touchy subject. He's a little sad.
Oops. Well, he started talking about how you can introduce your best friend as crazy, but you better not do it for your spouse.
This is my buddy Joey. He's crazy. Joey's like, you're just being nice. But if I was like, this is my wife Jeannie, she's crazy, I'd be dead.
I really do think that there's a double standard. There's things that you can say about like your guy friends or whatever that there's no way you could say that about your wife.
Right. And the same thing could be true for women. Like there are things you can say about your girlfriends, but you definitely couldn't say about your husband.
Okay, now I can think of one for the guy about his wife. Like you could not say, oh, this is my wife. She's super emotional. You know? Because you're going to find out how emotional she is.
A woman she could say that about her friend.
Yeah.
She'd be like, she's the emotional one. And the friend would be like, oh, thank you, because I'm in touch with my feelings. But if she said that about her husband, like, oh, this is my husband. He's emotional.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, nope.
No, don't say that.
Absolutely. All right, so there, you've heard a couple of them. What is something that you think that you could not say about your friend that you could say about your spouse? 855-33-WAY-FM is the number. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. I'm just going through my mental Rolodex, and a bunch of them are coming to mind. Sorry, honey. 855-33-WAY-FM. We'll take yours now. Gavin, I think you've stumbled on a good one.
Yes, you could introduce a friend. Hey, this is my friend Will. He doesn't do much. You couldn't go like, hey, this is my wife Haley. She doesn't do much. Because you might get smack in the back of the head for that one.
Absolutely.
And rightfully so.
Yeah, or like buddies too. You're like, it's my friend Brad. He's not that smart. You know, like you can totally do that. Like, but you like, as my wife Marty, she's not that smart. You know, see, I mean, there definitely is a double standard.
True. And on Facebook, Jonathan said if he was introducing his friend, he could say, hey, this is my oldest friend. But if it comes to your wife, you can't say, this is my oldest wife.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, what?
There's more of these than I thought, actually, that would get you into trouble. So 855-33-WAY-FM. We got time for one or two more. 855-33-WAY-FM. What can you add to the list here of things that you could say to a friend, but there is no way you could say that about your spouse? 855-33-WAY-FM. So, Carissa, what is a way that you could introduce a friend but not your spouse?
You can say this is your best friend, but you can't really say this is your best husband.
That would be like, okay, so what happened to the other one?
It might be an interesting conversation, if nothing else. I'm gonna ask a question or two.
My husband likes to say, oh, you're my favorite wife. And I'm like, well, hopefully I'm also your least favorite.
Hey, Melissa, you're up. What is that thing that you cannot say about your spouse that you could say about your friend?
You can introduce your friend. Hi, this is my best friend, Tom. Yeah, I really don't like him very much. You could never introduce your wife that way.
Exactly. Yeah, even if you're kidding around, like you could kid around about a best friend like that. He's kind of a jerk, you know, and like, but then you do that with your wife? Oh, no.
I actually have another one. It's, hey, this is my best friend, Tom. Man, I just can't shake him. He's always hanging around.
Oh, gosh. Yep.
If my husband introduced me that way, I would no longer be hanging around.
Have you ever dealt with someone that is so good at their job that you're disappointed when you go to other places that don't meet that same level of excellence? Hey, it's Wally, and I wish United Faith Mortgage not only did mortgages, but also had an airline. I was on my 30th anniversary trip, which I paid for with some of the money I got from my cash-out refinance with United Faith Mortgage, and this major airline lost my bag. It was a disaster, and my bag is still somewhere in Greece having more fun than me. Well, everyone I talked to said it was someone else's problem, and don't get me started on the endless hours I spent on hold. That is why I love United Faith Mortgage. Their concierge mortgage service is second to none. When you call, you get a real person that answers, and get this, is actually happy to help you. They're knowledgeable, professional, very personable, and better yet, in the event of a hiccup, they will work quickly to resolve any problems. They're so good, they would probably try to help you with your lost bags if they could. United Faith Mortgage. Start online, call anytime. UnitedFaithMortgage.com.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Melville Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, Massachusetts, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
TMI.
TMI, my friends.
Also known as Today's Music Insider with Gavin.
When you think of Toby Mac, you probably think of the great career he's had over the last couple of decades with a bunch of great albums and great music. And you might think back to a time when he started his career in a band that included the likes of Michael Tate, who is the leader of the News, or the lead singer of the Newsboys, and Kevin Max. They made up a band called DC Talk.
Now, to me, that's just synonymous with Toby, but I know younger people, it's not. Like, who's this DC Talk you speak of? They were the biggest thing in Christian music when they were out.
Yeah, and am I right in saying this, that they were very new on the scene in terms of they were mixed, singing with hip hop, because Toby is quite the rapper per se.
Yeah, and Kevin and Tate can really sing well, you know, and so they had this fusion of stuff. I mean, here's a little sample. If you're not familiar with DC Talk. That's the softer side. This was their big breakout hit. Kind of a rap rock thing because they've got the breakdown section. There was a man with a tat on his big fat belly and it wiggled around like marmalade jelly.
That's weird.
I know, but they were huge at the time.
Absolutely. And then, ever since they did split up, they've had really great respective careers. But for those who do miss DC Talk, the original band, you might be excited to hear this announcement from Toby about something coming out with his next full-length album that's coming out next month in August.
I called Michael and Kevin and asked them to be on a special song. They both agreed. I had the privilege in DC Talk of sitting between two vocal giants, and they came and appeared on this new record, and I'm so grateful to my friends that they came out.
See, that's cool. People have wanted a DC Talk reunion for a while. They did a cruise once, and they flirted with it. And so just hearing them back together again would be great. And he's right. Those two guys can sing. Toby will tell you, he's like, I'm not the singer of the band.
No.
He'll freely admit that those guys are great. But there's something about the three of them together that really, really was kind of magical. So to hear it again, I'm excited.
Yeah, all of them in their mid-50s getting back together.
A little mature. Let's see how this thing goes. I cannot wait.
Me too.
We're going to have to get Toby in to have him talk about this. Maybe even give us a little preview ahead of the schedule. That'd be awesome. And that's going to do it for your TMI. Thank you, Gavin. Uplifting, Way FM. It's got to be hard to have a spouse that's cooler than you. Gavin knows where this is going.
Man.
Like, your wife has a couple tattoos.
Yep.
And you do not yet. And
no.
That's okay. You do you.
I've moved on from it. At one point, I wanted to match her coolness.
Can I point out how much of a gaslighter you are?
What's that? Me?
Because you're like, is it sad that your wife is way cooler than you and you're so pathetic? And then he says, yeah, I don't have any tattoos. And you're like, you know what? Be yourself. Be yourself.
Be pathetic.
Yeah. No, you're fine. You're doing great. Because you originally were like, well, I want to get a tattoo. But then you basically just said that she's getting another one, a third.
Yes, just yesterday, she basically filled out all of the information, blah, 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 new tattoo. I want it looking like this. And then in the bottom, the note was no more than $300. And my brain is like, wow, that's expensive.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's going to be with her forever.
See, that's the thing, like, because Gavin was like, man, Gavin's really, really good with money, too, and he's smart because he's trying to, they're young married, and you got college debts and all this other stuff, so, like, really, really, he's being very smart about this. And so he watches that and he's like, man, that's a lot of money. And so my point to him was, well, she could spend that on shoes or clothes or things that don't last. At least she'll have this the rest of her life.
Oh, yeah.
So there's your silver lining, And so, just go ahead and go nuts.
Treat yourself.
Yeah, treat yourself. And so we found a justification that somehow made it okay in Gavin's head.
Sure.
He's like, you're right, because shoes would be a waste. So 855-33 Way FM. That's how you can always be on the show with us. What is that purchase that you need help justifying? And we're here for you. We will put our heads together and we'll come up with a solid reason. And maybe then you can present this to your spouse because you might have to. I've done a PowerPoint before.
No.
I did a PowerPoint for my wife so that I could purchase my e-foil. Yeah.
You don't have one
I still didn't get it yet. Yeah. But I did a PowerPoint that had pictures of me looking like I'd have fun, Yeah. And so we'll help you with that right now, okay? We'll be your justification. 855-33 Way FM. We're going to help you treat yourself. 855-33 Way FM.
Treat yourself.
So what is that for you?
So I do have a few tattoos, but my guilty pleasure is definitely buying a grape soda on my way to work every single day.
I get that. Coke is my guilty pleasure. I love a good Coke classic like nobody's business.
Yeah.
Has anybody given you a hard time about buying a grape soda every day?
My best friend, she doesn't like it because I can make healthier choices, but I don't like to drink water, so.
Danelle, doctors always say you need to stay hydrated. It can help your performance physically, mentally, emotionally. And so I think it's okay. If this is your way to get hydrated, then do it.
Yeah, I feel better when I drink a grape soda.
There you go. You just found your own silver lining. Does it make you happy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you kinder to people?
Yeah.
Are you more likely to share the gospel with them when you're happy?
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Grape soda. You're saving people's lives, saving their souls. Nicely done, Danelle. Uplifting Way FM. This here's the Wally Show. We got our world's biggest baby shower going on right now, and there are moms in need. And here's the cool thing: you can help out.
Yeah, we are looking for you to give away those diapers, those pull-ups of all sizes, also formula and wipes. And when you do that, those donations are going to be given to the pregnancy help centers in your community. And it couldn't be easier to do. When you text the word baby to 91979, we'll send you a link that has all the pregnancy help centers in your area. That's baby to 91979.
And moms find themselves in this position at various different stages of life. Sometimes it's new moms, sometimes it's moms that have had kids and just life got hard and they're struggling. And so this is a way that you can help ease at least one of the burdens going on.
And I think there's many of us that want to help. We just don't know how.
Sure.
And that's what I love about the world's biggest baby shower is it simplifies the issue and makes it easy for us to get involved. And like I was saying, we're looking for those pull-ups, those diapers, formula, and wipes. But maybe you're thinking, I don't have time to go to the store. Hey, we got an Amazon wish list. And maybe you want to send a gift card. Those can be donated as well. Like I said, text BABY to 91979.
Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show, and we have an aftercast. It's a podcast, and we do it after the show every day, and you can get it for free. And it's where we kind of dive into, life stuff and things that we didn't have time to get to on the show today. And I think that Betty Rock actually brings up stuff on the aftercast she knows will kind of pit Gavin and me against each other.
What?
Yeah,
I would never do anything like that.
I think it's intentional. Even Gavin sees it. Here, see what you think.
I want you and Gavin to shake hands.
Oh my gosh, dead fish.
It's not dead fish.
Yeah, it was a dead fish hand.
No, come on.
The reason
it's across the. I can come over there and give you a better one.
That's too late. I've already formulated my opinion of you.
That's fine.
The reason that I wanted y'all to shake hands is because studies show that a weak hand grip strength may signal some serious health issues.
By that handshake, Gavin should be dead.
So if you have what Wally would call a dead fish handshake, then you might want to look into finding a cardiologist.
What?
Yeah, because it could be pointers to heart issues.
Yeah, my chest hurts.
Lung issues. It's more of an emotional hurt. Even a lower life expectancy.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So those guys that give you the big handshake or have strong hand grip strength might live longer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Those people scare me. And I say that as a dead fish handshaker. Those people do scare me.
There you go. That's just a little flavor of the Aftercast, which you, again, can get for free wherever you get your podcast.
Just text the letters TWS, which stand for The Wally Shows. So TWS to 91979. That's TWS to 91979.
Hey, it's Wally, and I just want to thank so many people, our potties, the people that listen to the radio station, for partnering together to make a difference in the lives of Ukrainian refugees. This thing over there is a mess. We're entering the 5th month of this, and it's just heartbreaking to see what people are going through and how they're having to live. But here's the upside. Together, we have sent more than 100,000 meals to Ukraine already. These meals are being distributed by 3,500 pastors who are risking their lives every day to minister to these families and get them the food that they need. So if you've given, thank you so much. Now, we're down to the last couple weeks of the month, and how cool would it be to up the ante here and send another 50,000 meals by the end of July? I know it sounds like a lot, but at 25 cents a meal, that's not a lot, and a little bit from each of us can go a long way. I know I've already done my part, because I'm never going to ask you to do something I won't do, but think about it. $100 sends 400 meals, and then if you roll that out and do $500 or $1,000 gift, imagine the impact impact that you're having. So if you want to get involved, you've seen all the hardship and the heartache and thought, man, I wish there was something I could do. This is something you can do. Just join us by texting Wally to 91999. That's Wally to 91999. And the cool part of this is, man, you get to be the answer to a mom's prayer as she's wondering how she's going to feed her children. Again, text the word Wally to 91999. Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show, and I've done radio for like 30 years. And the only way I know how to do this job is to be honest with it. The good and the bad. You know, that's the only way I know how to do this. So I'll pull back the curtain for a smidge here. We were talking about tattoos a few minutes ago and Gavin's wife getting a tattoo. And it wasn't even really the subject of the conversation. It was kind of a setup for it. And this lady called just wicked madder than fish grease, that we would talk about tattoos because of what it says in the Bible, and she and I have a difference of opinion of the interpretation of that, but she came at me really strong. Shame on you, you're going to hell. Okay, so you get the picture. And I don't respond well to people coming at me that way. Mm-hmm. And so my mainstream radio came out. Like, I yelled and was not kind at all. Like, it hit me wrong day, and my behavior was not exemplary.
Well, and I think a lot of people who would find themselves in your situation, if someone just all of a sudden approached you and started yelling at you and telling you you're a horrible individual, and you're like, wait, who is that? Like, you just aren't prepared for peace-making abilities.
And I'm not in the best headspace right now. Full disclosure, like, I'm kind of angsty, and so when this hit me, it was all my walls went down, and I just went nuclear, you know, and had like a really long argument with this lady.
You're saying you weren't an innocent party in the situation.
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. Here's the thing. Like, my boss even came in. I said, hey, you're probably going to get an email from somebody today that was really mad about something on the show, and they're probably going to say I was a horrible person, and they're right. So I'm like, I did not handle that well, you know. And so as I think back on it, I actually feel bad. Like, there's most of the time, if I argue about something and I'll stand my ground and I feel convicted about it, like, I don't think I'm wrong in what my opinion was, but I do think I was wrong in how I chose to handle her. I should have absorbed it, and I should have, like, put grace back, and there was zero grace. There was hostility in my response, zero grace. And I think that as I think back on it, so Judy, if you're still listening, I probably doubt it, but if you still are, you're more than welcome to call back, and I'll tell you sorry personally. I just didn't handle that well. No one would have known, you know, but I kind of felt bad about it, you know, and so that's the thing. I'll share all the good and the bad of life with you here. This is truth serum for me. That's why I do this job, you know, and so I want to kind of roll this out, though, to, like, I'm a Christian, but we've done this on the show before. I'm a Christian, but, and in this case, I'm a Christian, but I don't always treat people like Jesus would, and I miss the mark. I fall short sometimes, and so I'd love to take yours right now. Maybe you've been in that place where you're like, yeah, I'm a Christian, but man, I struggle with this, or I don't do this well, and you might give somebody encouragement who isn't perfect as well to realize, okay, I need to work on this, but I'm not alone. Right, because in the church, you can always feel like everyone puts on this persona of, like, I'm perfect, I have it all together, me and Jesus are tight. But in reality, we're all a little messed up somewhere in there. And so it's good to be honest with ourselves. Yeah. 855-33-WAY-FM. So if you want to fill in that blank with me right now, 855-33-WAY-FM. I'm a Christian, but. Now, it can be funny, too. I don't want to just mire it down in humor or in seriousness. It can go either way, however you want to do it. But I'm a Christian, but. Fill in that blank. So what's yours?
I have a couple, but I'll just do two. I'm a Christian, but I struggle with overeating. That was a hard thing for me for a long time, feeling like a bad Christian because of that. It brings tears to my eyes, but I recognize it as sin that I struggle with. I don't say it's not. And I feel like that's the difference. And we all have stuff we struggle with, whether it be that you can see or not see.
Exactly. See, that's the thing. When it's something that people can see, it's so easy to judge. Everybody's got something hidden that's their mess, and they like to pretend it's not there or just judge everybody else's stuff. And the hidden sins are much easier, you know. And so I appreciate the honesty of that, because I don't know that everyone would give verbiage or words to what you're feeling and thinking, but it might be something that someone is going through right now, so thank you.
You're welcome. I also struggle with kind of like you, but I don't think it's bad, but just kind of lashing out when...
Well, you didn't have to add that part about I don't think it's quite as bad. Christina.
But I mean, I just like, if I'm under a stressful situation and a ball doesn't fall in the right court or someone throws something else at me, I tend to be like, ah!
Yeah. You know what? That actually did make my day. That's really funny. Christina, I appreciate you being on with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
What's yours, Rebecca?
I am a Christian, but I struggle with political conversation in social gatherings.
Politics is really tough, man. Like when you intertwine your faith into it, because they're not separate. Our faith colors the way we vote and things like that too. And so it can be really, really, really murky with people that don't share the same political views as you.
Right, and sometimes I guess it just surprises me when those that are the same religious views, and then it just hits me in the middle of it with, how would you feel if I told you that I was going to, do something completely opposite? And I'm like, well, I don't know, but why do we have to talk about that?
Yeah, I totally get that, because it can be one of the most divisive things that we talk about. So how do we maintain a good witness in the middle of that?
I probably don't do what I should. I should probably speak my faith. But it just, when they're close to me, it's very difficult because I just shut down.
Well, Rebecca, I really do appreciate you being on the show with us today and sharing your I'm a Christian But. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
So, Liz, how would you fill in that blank? I'm a Christian But.
But I'm very negative. I feel like I see the worst case scenario possible in every situation. And I think when you were sharing your story, I saw a lot of transparency and just heard a lot of true transparency and honesty and repentance. And that really touched my heart.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, because I messed up. Like, no one would know that this even happened, but I really did feel genuinely bad. And like you, I struggle with being negative. I really do. Like, that's a hard thing for me. I see the worst in people and in situations, and I know I shouldn't, because, I should color that all through my God lens and my God filter, and I should be happier more. And it's something that I really, really battle with. So you're kind of in that place too?
Oh, definitely. And I think the Lord is working with me and my husband. We're currently expecting, and it's something that I don't want to pass on to my children. I want to remove that filter. It's really hitting me like I don't want that little one to see life the way we see it.
That's good that you recognize it and you can be proactive with it, because I have a grown-up daughter and I see some of my traits in her that I pass down to her, some of my not good stuff. She's got some of my good stuff too, and she got all great stuff from her mom, but any of the bad stuff she got from me, unfortunately. So, Liz, how would you fill in that blank? I'm a Christian, but
I'm very negative. I feel like I see the worst case scenario possible in every situation. And I think when you were sharing your story, I saw a lot of transparency and just heard a lot of true transparency and honesty and repentance. And that really touched my heart.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, because I messed up. Like, no one would know that this even happened, but I really did feel genuinely bad. And like you, I struggle with being negative. I really do. Like, that's a hard thing for me. I see the worst in people and in situations, and I know I shouldn't, because, I should color that all through my God lens and my God filter, and I should be happier more. And it's something that I really, really battle with. So you're kind of in that place too?
Oh, definitely. And I think the Lord is working with me and my husband. We're currently expecting, and it's something that I don't want to pass on to my children. I want to remove that filter. It's really hitting me like I don't want that little one to see life the way we see it.
That's good that you recognize it and you can be proactive with it, because I have a grown-up daughter and I see some of my traits in her that I pass down to her, some of my not good stuff. She's got some of my good stuff too, and she got all great stuff from her mom, but any of the bad stuff she got from me, unfortunately.
You can cancel your subscription to People magazine. It's the least of these with Betty Rock.
Are any of you a part of the Meta Instagram test?
No.
Oh, I am, and I hate it. And I don't use the word hate lightly. I hate it.
What do you hate so much about it?
Okay, so you'll know if you're part of the Meta testing program thing, you're not asked if you want to be a part. You're just put into it.
Well, that's
and
not,
so they've made it look like TikTok in a way where everything is video. So you're scrolling through your news feed. Typically, you'll see a photo. You're not seeing much photos anymore. Mainly now, you're just seeing videos. That's not what I come to Instagram for. I don't come to Instagram to see videos. I come to see photos.
Yeah, TikTok is for videos.
Right, like stay in your lane. Anyways, Instagram is trying to make themselves look more like TikTok. They're trying to update themselves. And it's getting met with a lot of hate, including me, but also including the widely popular family Kardashians.
Oh, I knew
Kim,
you had something
Kourtney, Khloe,
in common
Kris,
with them.
Kendall,
Who knows?
Kylie. I know them all. Anyways, they don't like it either because they're saying these are videos. I didn't come here for this. So I'm glad to know that me and the Kardashian Jenner clan, we have something in common.
Boy, you're in great company. You're like, I don't want to be on that team.
Great company. Anyway, Instagram CEO Adam Morhasey, I'm going to guess on that.
Sure.
He posted a video, ironic, explaining his decision to change Instagram, saying, quote, I do believe that more and more of Instagram is going to become video over time.
Well, that's what you want it to be, because TikTok started whooping you.
Right, exactly. So, Adam, don't bring me into your mind-burning stupidness.
Okay.
It is dumb. Go back to the original Instagram. I'm not here for it.
I guess you're not allowed. You're in the test, but you're not allowed to comment with any of that?
I wish I could.
Yeah.
I would leave a raging email or letter.
I get that.
Anyways, all that to say, if you are part of the meta testing, there's nothing you can do about it except write a hate-filled letter to Adam, the CEO of Instagram. And don't tell him I told you to do that. But I'm just saying, if we all band together,
you know what you should do?
Maybe we can change.
Here's what you should do. Because writing, who knows where you're going to send it to. Just do a video and post it there. Yeah, just do that.
I see what you're doing. No. Well, that's the end, but it doesn't have to be. Check out our Aftercast. It's new stuff you didn't hear in the podcast. Be sure to rate us on iTunes as well as connect with us on social media. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Just search Wally Show. And if you'd like to join our Facebook group made exclusively for you potties, the link is in the description of this podcast. Thanks to Colorado Christian University Online and United Faith Mortgage for supporting what we do.